What's up? Welcome to the Baryonx pin size video. That's a really cool color for that one. Let's start out with the first thing. I always start out by saying that everything that I'm going to talk about is based on this single pull of fence as far as you can. Run off to a right angle and squared. That's our 1x1 pin. And it seems like about the smallest thing you're going to get these Baryonx without the humble gene, as they don't have it. The smallest pin you're going to get them into is one of these, which is a 1x2. 1x3. I can't count. 1x3. One thing that's kind of cool about these, though, is that you really need to tailor these pins to the dinosaurs, and you can kind of fit more and more of them in here. But these guys require rock. You can see that the base around this is rock. But these rocks, in fact, give way more rock than what this does. And using these allows you to cover up a lot of this rock ground with more jungle, more trees, forests, I suppose. You can see I've got a lot of rocks in there. And let's see how they are for that. Plenty of rock. Water and forest is a problem. But with that, I can move the water further over into the rock because I have these. So we've got 1x3 with two of them at 73. And it's a tiny amount of area, not even a one measurement, whatever the 100 would equal. If it's supposed to be an acre or what. But here's a 2x2 pin. And there's only two of them in here as well. So this isn't much more area. As you can see, it's 1.01. But they might be a little happier than this pin if this is all the bigger you can get them into. Here's two of them in a 2x3 at a perfect. And it wasn't too hard to get them to the perfect. Of course, everywhere I use the rocks, though there aren't a lot of them in this pin. No humble trait. The aggressive doesn't matter for just the Baryonyx in their pin. Here we're at a 74. I might be able to fit one more of them in there, maybe not. But between 2 and 5, 2 and 6 in these, I would say keep the 2 and have them perfect, but you'd want to keep some in an incubator constantly, just waiting for those ones to die off, and eventually keeping eggs in an incubator, they'd die as well. Here is a 3x3, and this really isn't that large of a pin for something that's going to bring you plenty of appeal. 326. There's 4 of them in here, that's 1,300 appeal. And you wouldn't need to put really any gyrospheres out here or anything, I don't think. Just a couple viewing stations on it, and you would get plenty of, I don't know, star out of it. So the 3x3, between 4 and 8. As soon as they go over the amount of room, especially the amount of area that they require, they start dropping in comfort very quickly. Alright, so let's look at the 4x4s. And this one has 9 of them in it. We've gained 5, but we've also had to add, 8, 7 extra individual 1x1s. They're waiting for a fish. That's great. Let's see. Now here's the other 4x4, and I've got 16 of them in it. So 9 over here and 16 over here. You just don't get very many more of them in, even as you push it to max. This is the 5x5, which I've got 17 of them in it. Perfect. And if you put a 5x5 in your pin with just 17 Baryonx, I would probably not have that. I'd have like 10 and a couple Suchomimus if at all possible, but it's quite a few of them. All right, so I made the big 6x6 into a 7x7, and this thing is enormous. It would be hard to put it in some parks, but there's 30 of them in here at 100%. And they've even got a little more water, rock, forest. There's room for about 3 more dinosaurs there, actually. So 7x7 at a 30. Here's the 9x9. It's got 30 as well. Let's see if we can find one that'll say something. But they have got tons and tons of room. And this would be the kind of pin you could put in a group of Suchomimus in. But this pin would take an enormous amount of area. Now, let's go look at the humble and see how they compare to these ones with the non-humble. Alright, here's the humble park for the Baryonyx. And let's start right down here. I've got one in a 1x2. This is actually a 1x2 and not just me miscounting again. At 76. Happy enough. I don't know how often it would get out, but storms, I'm sure. That's about it. Here's one at 100% in a 1x3. So the humble gene, once again, coming in huge for these dinosaurs, taking 30% off the requirements. Oof, that poor little fish. Here's the 1x3 with as many as I can get in there with 4. But as soon as you put like one more in there, it goes from 100 down to like 86. It drops quick. So 1 to 2 would probably be good if you were going to use one of these 1x3s. Here's a 2x2. And 2 of them in it at perfect. And this would actually be what, you know, this size or this size would be about the easiest to keep running, because these dinosaurs aren't cheap to replace when they die. And the fact that if they do get out, if they do fight, when you've got a pin of like 15 of them, you're going to be constantly running them off to the paleomedical facility, where these pins of 4 of them, perfectly content, would not be so difficult to take care of. On this side, we've got 9 humble ones. So, between 4 and 9, and 1 destroyed vehicle, and a dinosaur with a broken toe. Here's the 3x3s over here. At 7, we get 3 more for this one. But can go to 15. So between 7 and 15 is not too bad of a number. 7 would be ideal, I think. You'd have a couple injuries now and then, a little bit of fighting, but at 100%, they would not be getting out even during storms. Whatever. All right. So let's look at the 4x4 here. And there are 15 of them in it. Perfectly happy. Well, these 2 are having a little bit of a tiff, but seems like it's over quick. 15 in the 4x4 would be a nice pin to have. I mean, that would bring you in a ton of appeal. And what's the problem? This one has low health from the injury. I don't know. But the full 4x4 can hold 30 at 73%. That is not too bad at all. Between 15 and 30, if you've got to have a ton of them in your park, this 4x4 is the size. But I suppose if you're going to be having that many dinosaurs, that many Baryonyx especially, you're going to have the ability to have this size of a pin. 24 of them here in the 5x5. What was in the other one, like 18 of them, something? I can't remember. Here is the 6x6. I didn't make it any bigger to get the 30 of them in it, and I've got more room in this one than I did in the 7x7, I think. They all just go get stuck under those big, thick trees, and you can't see them at all. 30 of them. Well, I mean, for me, I think the 4x4, or just, you know, these first three, the 2x3, the 3x3, the 4x4, those would be the right sizes to have. These bigger pins would be better served to cohabitate with like Suchomimus. But I think the first park I got any Baryonx in was Arizona. So let's go look at the map of Arizona gridded out for a minute so we can see how big some of these pins actually are. So here's the Arizona map. It's got the grid on it. And you can see that there is quite a bit of room for a 2x3. I mean, look how small of an area that actually is on this park. 2x3, 3x3. With that humble gene, you could have you could have a dozen of them in here. And it wouldn't be too hard to take care of them. Devote this whole little area just to the Baryonx. And there's tons of room up there. But let's just look at the grid real quick. Maybe it'll help you decide what to do in Arizona a little bit better. Where to put things. Alright. Let's go back and find us a Baryonx to watch eat fish and whatever they do, and end the video there. Well, we looked at that 2x3 area. That's this pin right here, with 4 of them in it at perfect. Or the 3x3 with 7. Those are good numbers for the Baryonx. Clear up to what we say we could go get in there. 15. Ridiculous. And that's just that little upper corner of Arizona. Well, listen to them all screeching. Here's a Baryonx to watch. And as always, I'll thank you for watching the videos. I'll say, take it easy. Hopefully this will help you fit these in to your park a little easier. And I'll see you in another one.